Well, hello, everyone, and thank you so much for attending the Get Your Mind and Your Money Right for 2019 and Beyond workshop. By being here today, you are part of an elite group of people who understand and know the importance of making sure that you get your mind and your money right for 2019 and beyond. So, to jump right in, I want to tell you who this workshop is for. If you are someone that gets a W 2 or a 1099 from your employer, you are in the right place. If you're looking to raise your credit score, if you want to get out of debt so you don't feel overwhelmed by your bills, if you want to create your own financial safety net, as I've said in some of my videos I've done before, your safety net is not your savings account. A safety net is that thing, that side hustle that brings you in money in the event something changes with your financial situation. If you're someone who wants to build an exit strategy from your job, not that you want to leave or you're ready to leave, but just to be prepared in case they are ready for you to leave. If you're struggling with your home-based business, meaning that it's not growing, it's not going anywhere, it's not delivering all that was promised to you by your upline or your sponsor, you're in the right place. And anyone that owns a brick and mortar business and wants to enhance what they already do, you are definitely in the right place. And overall, if you want to learn how spending like a millionaire can save you money, you are definitely in the right place today. So now that I've told you who this workshop is for, I want to tell you who it's not for, so that way we get this out of the way and make sure that the people are here for the right reasons. So if you're somebody who wants to get something for nothing, you are in the wrong place. If you're someone that does not want to learn new financial skills, you can go ahead and exit now because you won't get any value for this. And if you don't want to invest in yourselves, and I'm not talking about an exorbitant amount of money, but everything requires an investment of either time or money. And if you're unwilling to do either, then you're not in the right place. And this is not for people who don't see the value in protecting themselves from a job loss, a job closure, or a government shutdown. If you are one of these people, as I said, thank you for coming, but feel free to go ahead and leave because this workshop is not for you. Now, I did mention for those who are here that there are going to be prizes. So let's talk about some of the prizes for those that are attending live today. You're going to get a personal consultation, maybe business coaching, social media business tools, ebooks, gift cards, and I'm offering mini vacations. Now, we'll talk about more later about what you have to do to get these prizes, but these are the available prizes to you for attending and staying through the end of the workshop. All right, so now that we've talked about the basics, I want to get the administrative out of the way. Make sure you have a pen and paper handy. Make sure you eliminate all distractions and make sure that you're tuned in with an open mind and an open heart to be ready to learn what I have to share with you today. These are the same tools, tips, tactics, and strategies that I've used consistently for 2 years that enabled me to walk away from my job in March of 2018 and never look back. So if you're wondering, who am I? Well, my name is Cecilia, and I go by the tagline, I'm your engineer by education and home business owner by desire. I've been in the home business arena since 2003, and I incorporated myself so I can get the tax benefits that are given of the to corporations. And as I mentioned, when I was fired by my employer, I actually left on the 22nd. I got the official notice that I was terminated on the 23rd. I have not had a traditional job since. The tools that I'm sharing with you has allowed me to sustain my lifestyle and to be able to care for my parents in their final days because I found a way to secure my success, and I'm sharing that with you on this workshop. And last but not least, as I did this online journey, I've got a following of over 20,000 people on all my social media sites. So I know what I'm talking about and I know what I'm doing and I live and breathe it every day. So once again, thank you. And now we're about to get into the meat and potatoes of this presentation. As I said, make sure you eliminate distractions. Please have a pen and paper handy. If you have questions, you can put them in the chat and I will try to get to them later. Thank you again, and let's get it started. So a little bit more about me. This is me since I left my job and was let go in March of 2018. I was able to take 4 distinct vacations last year. I was in Scottsdale, Arizona with my team here, visiting my family while in Scottsdale. I was at Social Media Day Dayton, which is an event we had locally. I was in Las Vegas, Nevada. I love Vegas. I go there every year. And here I was asked to be one of 10 business owners in my city to present to a local bank for a prize. So being chosen to be one of 10 businesses was a huge feat for me because digital marketing and social media strategies is what I do and what I love. So I'm going to tell you what you're going to learn during this workshop because I'm all about no hype. I'm straight, no chaser. So this is what I'm going to share with you in this workshop here today. The secret to getting more money from your paycheck, how you can put an extra $200 to $1,000 in your bank account each month. I'm going to show you the Smart 750 credit system because good credit is so important. I'm going to give you strategies for debt elimination. Debt causes so many physical, emotional, and mental ailments that we need to get out of debt and do it as quickly as possible. Why you should hire your children. That's right, hire your children. No more paying them an allowance. Make them earn their keep. And why a tax return is a liability and not an asset. So that's what I'm going to share with you during this workshop. If any of this is something you want to know, give me some comments in the chat. Say, tell me more. If one of these resonates with you more than something else, give me a quick chat while I take a sip of water. As I said, I will go through all comments and chat questions at the end of this workshop. So why is this information so important? Well, if you're currently working a job or you get paid a 1099 and you're an independent contractor, you need to know how to maximize your take-home pay, meaning get the most out of your paycheck. Once you learn the tools that I'm going to share with you today, you need to know how to use this extra money to pay off debt. If you're just getting extra money to blow off and not take care of your debt and become more financially solvent, then you might as well keep doing what you've been doing because you're not going to get anywhere if you don't learn the tools that I'm going to share with you to use this extra money in your paycheck to pay off your debt. Now, I want to share why your credit score impacts your ability to get loans, housing, utilities, car insurance, jobs, and more. Your credit score determines how much you'll pay for interest in these things I mentioned here. And in terms of utilities, it could be in form of deposit because you don't have a decent credit score. And then it's about leaving a legacy of financial literacy for your family. Most people leave debt or nothing. Let's leave a legacy of financial literacy. Let's teach our next generation how to be more conscious and fiscally responsible than we are so they don't have some of the burdens that we may be living because of our debt, our lack of money, or our poor credit score. So what's your why for being here? So this is really interesting. I found this statistic. Did you know that every hour, 230 people in the United States start a home-based business? That's 5,500 people a day that start a home business. And they do it because they want time freedom. They want more money. They want recognition. They want, to be acknowledged for a job well done. They want financial security. 850,000 people were negatively impacted by the government shutdown that lasts 35 days. 35 days doesn't seem like a long time until you're not getting a paycheck. Can you last 35 days without a paycheck? Some people want to quit their job. I did want to quit my job at some point, but God saw fit to get me out of there before I made my decision because his timing is always right. And then some people want a better life. So what is your why for being here? Go ahead and type that in the chat. And like I said, I'll look through the questions and everything at the end of this workshop. But what is your why? I'm going to take another sip of water. The biggest why for me is you want to choose to change your money story. So I have been part of the 2008 housing crisis, basically the financial boom that was heard around the world. The company that I was with was shut down shortly after I was let go from that company because of the financial crisis. And the last company that I was with that I left and then let me go in 2018 is actually filing bankruptcy. Payless announced last week that they are closing all 2,300 stores. So if you don't have a side hustle, a part-time gig, you can be negatively impacted by the changing economy that we are in today. So I hope one of your biggest whys is that you are choosing to change your money story. So now let's get into it. Have that pen and paper handy once again. I want to talk about the secret to getting more money from your paycheck. Now, this is a breakdown of your paycheck for an average household of $50,000 a year. $50,000. This is how your dollar breaks down. 58% is yours to keep. 25% goes to federal income tax, 6.2 to Social Security, then we got Medicare, and then state income tax. So after your take home, the biggest chunk is the federal income tax, and that's what I want to tackle today. So you've probably seen this form either in paper copy or electronically for your job, and it's a W-4. This is where you tell your employee how many allowances that you're taking so they know how much to withhold from your check for taxes. Now, most people claim the number of people in their house, such as deductions, but this is actually allowances. Now, I've filled out this form ever since I was 14 years old, but I never paid attention to this one statement. Total number of allowance you're claiming from the applicable worksheet on the following pages. I didn't even know there was a worksheet. If you knew there was a worksheet, give me a 1 in the comments. If you didn't know, give me a 2. Because I had no idea. I always just filled it out for the number of people, and because I'm a household of 1, I always used 1. But 2 years ago, I found out about this and I went to the worksheet. Here's the worksheet. These are your personal allowances that you're allowed to take. So we're going to talk about this based upon my situation. I get to enter 1 for myself, and I get to enter 1 for filing head of household because I'm single and I only have 1 job. So that's 2 deductions. So just like that, in the blink of an eye, I doubled my number of allowances, which means I decreased the amount of money that the government was taking from my paycheck for taxes. Now, that's my situation. What about your situation? This is one that is really interesting and that I shared with my neighbor because she has 4 kids and she makes between 170. Oh no, she doesn't make that much. She makes between $71,000 and $179,000 a year. She's in that range. So in that range, she gets to enter 2 for each child. She has 4 kids. So up until I shared this with her, she was always claiming 5 allowances, her and her 4 kids. But now, based upon this formula, she gets 1 for herself, she gets 1 for single and having 1 job, and this she gets 2 for all of her 4 children. That's 8. 2 times 4 is 8. So she just went from 5 allowances to 8 just by completing this worksheet. And this is legal and it's allowed by the government. And the IRS states that 80% of people have too much money withheld from their taxes. And the reason why is because we don't know about the worksheet. And we don't ask for it because we don't know about it. And if you file this electronically, which most employers do nowadays, you don't even think to go further than how many people are in your house. All right, so that's the top half of page 3 of the allowances worksheet. Now here's the bottom half, and this is where it really gets interesting. This is the part of worksheet that deals with people who have a home-based business. There's so many businesses out there: Avon, Paparazzi, Melaleuca, Advocare, Skinny Body Care, Vima, gosh, the list just goes on and on. Prepaid legal, financial education services. You can probably list some of your own. If you have a different business that I haven't mentioned, go ahead and drop it in the comments. CBD, that's the new one that's out there. TC something, taking care, total body care. I think that's another one. Go ahead and drop your business in the comments if I didn't mention it. But this is the part of page 3 of the worksheet that deals with having a business. Now let's look at this hypothetical situation. So it says, enter an estimate of your 2019 itemized deductions. For this example, I listed $15,000. So if you own a home, if you have student loans, If you have a higher level of expenses, then you are able to itemize on your taxes, and $15,000 isn't unreasonable. Then the next line says, enter one of these numbers depending on your situation. So in this hypothetical example, 1220, I'm sorry, 12,200. And then you subtract the 12,200 from the 15, and you're left with 2,800. Line 4 says, enter an estimate of your 2019 adjustments to income, such as business income deductions. Business income deductions. So I entered $10,000. And if you think about it, $10,000 is not an unreasonable number. If you take 4 business trips a year, you've got airfare, you've got hotel, you've got transportation, you've got food. If you attend any local events, then you have mileage, you have the cost for any event, local or out of state. You have a lot of expenses that $10,000 is not unreasonable over the course of a year. So now it says to add lines 3 and 4. So the 2,800 plus the 12,800 gives me, I'm sorry, plus the 2,800 plus the 10,000 gives me a total of $12,800 as a business deduction. So line 6 is where it gets interesting. In line 6, if you file Schedule C for your taxes, then you have to put some income here, because if you file Schedule C, you are considered a sole proprietor, and as such, you are expected to earn an income. So you must put a number here. However, if you are a corporation, you do not need to put a number there. This is for your employer taxes and how much withholdings you want them to take from your paycheck. Let me say at this point, I am not an accountant or a tax advisor. Please get with one in your state, but I can tell you how this form needs to be filled out. So in this hypothetical situation, we're going to assume you're a corporation, and we're going to put 0 here. So on line 7, it says subtract 6 from 5. That leaves you at 12,800. In line 8, it says to divide line 7 by 4,200 and drop the decimal. So in this situation, again, the difference is 3. Line 9, it says get your number from the top half of the worksheet. In my situation, it was 2. And add lines 8 and 9 together, and I come up with 5. What does this mean? This means that instead of taking 1 allowance from my paycheck, I can legally take 5 because I completed the worksheet that I didn't know was even available until 2 years ago. That means less withholdings from my paycheck and more money in my pocket. Is that blind blowing? Did you know that this was legal? This was moral? This was ethical? This is why our current president does not want to share his tax returns. This is why Netflix, Amazon, and a lot of other organizations pay less in federal income taxes than we do as individuals. Why? Because they know the tax laws, and now you do too. If that's just mind blowing to you, give me a 3 in the comments if I just showed you something that you didn't know before. All right, so now the next step I want to show you is how to put $200 to $1,000 in your bank account each month. What I just showed you is how to get extra money on your paycheck, and that's how you put that back in your bank account each month. So here's Kim. Kim's part of my team, and she says income shifting has helped me. I said, I'm glad you're getting the benefits. She says my paycheck saw an increase of $150 per pay period, and I said, all by changing your W-4, right? She said, that's it. I'm working on credit repair now. So by changing her W-4, she's bringing home an extra $300 a month, and then she started working on her credit repair and debt elimination. Once she added that to the mix, she was able to go out and buy a newer vehicle, and she got an SUV because she was tired of a car. And to make it even better for her, her new car payment for her new SUV was $120 less than what her current car payment was, because she improved her credit, so she got a better interest rate. So when you think about Kim's situation, not only did she save $300 a month, but she also earned another $120 by getting a newer car with a lesser payment. So she actually gave herself a $420 raise, all by using the W-4 strategy that I just shared with you, along with debt elimination and credit repair. And then here's another one. It says, wow, I implemented strategy number 1, which is the W-4, and got $932 more on my monthly paycheck. I'm feeling lovely right about now. And I said, wow, that's beyond amazing. What's your plans for that additional income? I'm going to start paying off student loans. That's the plan, queen. Congrats. Knock those loans out. So it's not about just getting extra money in your paycheck. It's about using our system to show you how you can start eliminating your debt. What's the use in having extra money if you're still going to stay broke? You get it? And then here's another success story. This is from Yvette. I started income shifting and received an extra $568 per paycheck. No second job, sales, or recruiting. That's $13,632 more annually. All because she learned something that I just shared with you. She gave herself an extra $13,000 a year income in her pocket instead of to the government. And it's legal, ethical, and moral. So is that just mind-blowing to you? Is this amazing how just making those simple changes to your W-4 can actually improve your lifestyle because that money is now available to you to pay off debts and improve your credit? If that works for you and you want to know more, drop me some 4s in the comments while I take a sip of water. All right. So now let's talk about the Smart 750 credit system. And once again, my right brainers, I know you're more creative, but you got to know the facts. So use your left brain for a minute because I'm going to share some facts with you right now. 68 million people have poor credit. 68 million people. 1 in 5 have an error on their credit report, meaning something is on there that's negatively impacting your credit and it shouldn't be there because it's not right. In 2018, the credit repair industry earned over $3 billion. That means they made $3 billion off of these 68 million people with bad credit. You don't have to go to the credit repair agencies. We teach you how to fix your own credit report. 3 billion. That's a lot of people with bad credit spending a lot of money. And then 79% of the people who disputed errors on their credit report were successful in removing them. So of these 1 in 5, 79% of the people who disputed errors got them removed. And 79% of that $3 billion, or these 68 million people, probably could have done it themselves instead of paying someone else to do it for them. And we teach you how to do exactly that. So because of the importance credit plays in our lives, everyone should want good to even great credit, okay? All right, some more facts. Your credit scores by age. 70 or older are at 730 on average. 50 to 69 have a score of 700. 35 to 49 have an average score of 655. 21 to 34 have an average score of 634. And people under 20 and under have an average credit score of $631. So do you match your age and your credit score? Do you know? If you do, give me a yes, or you can give me a no, whichever you're comfortable with, if you're not where you're supposed to be. And this is average based upon January 2019 information. So let's talk about your credit scores by income. People who make $30,000 or less tend to have a score of 590. If you make between 30 and 50,000, you should have a score of 643. If you make between 50 and 75,000, you should have a score of 737. And what this shows you is that poor credit is often the result of lack of income. So if you don't have money and you need something, what are you going to do to get it? You're going to go to a payday advance. You're going to get an advance on your tax refund. You're going to use like Rent-A-Center or something like that, paying the stupid, oh my gosh, the rates of interest at those places is just phenomenal. But when you don't have a choice, what do? And then if you go back to the other slide where I talked about credit score by age, the older you are, the better credit you have, and the more money you have, the better credit score you have as well. So let's talk about what impacts your credit score, because this is important as well. And knowing this will allow you to better manage your credit score. So payment history for your accounts is 35% of your credit score. That's the biggest piece. That's why people stress paying stuff on time. Pay on time, because that's the biggest impact to your credit score, late payments. And that's why so many people were impacted negatively by the government shutdown because it went over 30 days. Some people couldn't pay their mortgage. So now they've got a ding on their credit report because the government shut down for 35 days and they missed the 30-day mark to pay their mortgage. Then the next step is credit utilization. That's 30% of your score. What credit utilization is, how much of your credit do you actually use? The more credit you use, the lower your score. So let me explain how that works. Take two people, everything being equal, and they both have a $5,000 credit card. The person who's maxed out their $5,000 credit score will have their credit card, will have a lower credit score than the person who has not maxed out their card. Because in the eyes of the credit reporting agencies, if you're maxed out, you're tapped out. And then credit history or length of history accounts for 15% of your score. A lot of people think that having no credit is a good thing. It actually isn't, because you have not shown yourself to be someone who's fiscally responsible from a credit history standpoint. If you've never had any credit, you don't have any history of paying your bills on time, staying out of debt. There's just nothing for the credit reporting agencies to look at to actually give you a rating. Now it's only 15%, but it is 15%. So have something. I don't care if it's just a gas card and you use it and pay it off every month, but you need a credit history. I have a friend going through separation, and she's 54 and she's never had credit. Everything's always been in her husband's name. And when they separated, she didn't even get an apartment. She asked me to co-sign, which I didn't, because I just don't do for people. But imagine how it feels to be 54 years old and have to ask someone to co-sign for an apartment for you because you've never had credit. So get something and use it responsibly. Then there's new credit, which accounts for 10% of your credit score. And you want to be careful with the new credit. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because we talk about that more in our program, but that's 10% of your credit score. And then finally, your credit mix accounts for 10%. And by credit mix, I mean how many installment loans, how many credit cards, do you have a mortgage? That's part of what the mix is about. All right, so that's how the credit score is calculated, your FICO. So let's talk about some people who have success stories from using our Smart 750 credit system. This is Patty. She just had student loans removed from her credit report. It says, your student loan account with Department of Education /Navient was removed from your credit report. That was January of this year, just last month. And then we have another success story of TransUnion and Equifax, and 5 weeks later, TransUnion and Equifax, just by using the tools that we give you so you don't have to be part of that $3 billion credit repair industry. All right, so do you now have a better understanding of your credit score and how it impacts you, and how you can get negative items removed from your credit score without paying the credit repair agencies? If any of this is like a wow moment for you, where are we at? I think we're up to number 5. Drop me a 5 in the chat. The thing for me that I learned was how the mix of debt, so to speak, impacts your credit score. But let's keep moving, because now it's time to talk about debt elimination and the emotional effects of debt. It can literally drive you crazy, and some studies show it can even kill you. Why? Because it causes denial. You cannot be in denial about your credit because it's not going away. Causes stress. Stress kills. Oh my goodness. And the lack of money kills even faster. Fear, being scared of your debt. How many of you don't answer your phone if you don't know the number because you're in debt? Well, we got to stop that, because that's just wrong, and it's not what God wants for you. And then the big one is depression. Depression kills. And when you don't see a way out of your financial situation, it leads to despair. And I don't want that for you. God does not want that for you. And that's why we got to get out of debt and do it as quickly as possible. The system that we have applies the cash to one debt at a time, and then the process continues until all debts are eliminated. Our debt elimination calculator can empower you to eliminate your debt quickly and shift cash flow back to you. The system is powerful because it shows you the fastest way to eliminate your debt. And that's what you want. Get out of debt. Now, when the debt is eliminated, you will have extra cash flow for investing, for your lifestyle, or just plain old peace of mind. The feeling of not being in debt, especially, like I said, my situation when my company let me go, and here I am almost 12 months later, and I'm able to maintain my lifestyle and my household bills and not worry about debt. That is phenomenal. Now, in 2008, when the world imploded due to the financial and the housing crisis, I was shaking in my boots, waiting to find another job because I didn't have a way out. But 10 years later, I had no problems getting out or being put out, depending on how you look at it, because I had created my own safety net, and I'm sharing the safety net with you. Peace of mind is a lot. So now I want to talk about why you should hire your children. So if you are good on the debt elimination and you understand that having a way to eliminate your debt quickly and easily is important, type in the comments, no more debt. No more debt. Okay. So why should you hire your children? Well, your children can be a great tax savings device if you run your own business. If you hire your children as employees to do legitimate work in your business, you may deduct their salaries from your business income as a business expense. And per the Tax Cut and Jobs Act, it has greatly increased the standard deduction. You can pay them up to $12,000 and owe no tax on that income. So I'm gonna share a quick story with you. So I've been an entrepreneur basically my whole life, even though I went to college and then got my master's degree and then got other certifications. Entrepreneurship has always been in my blood because my dad, he drilled it into me. So when I was young, like around 9, 10, 11, I owned a candy store. I sold candy from the house, and I also sold candy from or at school. So one summer we went to Kings Island, and I'm just going whole hog at Kings Island. I'm playing all the games, I'm eating all the food, I'm doing everything. And when we get back home, my dad was like, okay, you owe me X number of dollars. I was like, what do you mean? You took us to Kings Island. He was like, yeah, I took you to Kings Island to play the rides, all them games and all that extra food and stuff. That was on you. Souvenirs, that was on you. And I was like, why didn't you tell me that? So the reason why I shared this story with you is because when you hire your children and create an account for them to input the money from the income that you're giving them, the next time they want the new iPhone or iPad or Jordans or whatever is out there, make them pay for it out of their own money. And I bet you they'll think twice about what it is they want to buy. But most importantly, you'll be teaching them fiscal responsibility. And that's one of the things that we need to do to leave a legacy of financial responsibility to the next generation. So pay your kids, deduct it from your business income. They will owe no tax on it, and it will make them be more financially responsible. Was that just like a wow moment for you? If so, drop me a 6 in the chat. So now I want to talk about why tax return is a liability and not an asset. Most people look forward to getting their tax returns, but this year, 2019, people are noticing that their tax return is about 8% less than what it was last year. I saw that on ABC World News Now. And 30 million people will owe the IRS this year because with the new tax laws, they did not have enough money deducted from their paycheck. So if you're looking for a tax return each year, first of all, you're in the wrong income bracket for one, and for two, a tax return is not your friend. The IRS reports that 80% of all taxpayers overpay in their taxes, and almost 30% use their tax return to pay off debt. See that? 30%. So you're already behind the 8 ball when you get your tax returns. At least 30% of us are, because we're using it to pay off the debt that we accumulated during the year. People who put it in savings or invest, 18%. Retirement savings brings it up to 25%. So 25% of people use it for some sort of savings vehicle, but 30%, 27% use it to pay off debt. Now let's look at how this works. This is for my left brainers again, but right brainers, I'm sure you're going to get it too. Now, the average tax return in 2018 was $3,120. If I went to the bank and I asked for an unsecured loan, which means I'm not providing any collateral, for 12 months for $3,120, since I'm not providing any collateral, the average interest rate is 19.5. The better credit score, it'll be lower. The worse your credit score, it'll be higher. But on average, it's 19.5%. For that loan from that bank, I'll be paying $288.27 a month. I would have paid the loan back, and then I would have also paid $339.28 in interest. Now, this is where you really need to think about what is the purpose of your tax return. Your tax return is an interest-free loan that you give to the government out of every paycheck, only for you to get it back at the beginning of the next year without interest. If I can't go to a bank and get a no interest loan, why would I give the government a no interest loan? That's money that can be on your paycheck for that flat tire, for the soccer cleats that your kid needs, for the knee pads for volleyball, for the washer and dryer when they go out. That money needs to be on your paycheck to go to a savings account, not going to the government so they can give it back to you with no interest. Is that like a booyah for you? Give me a 7 in the chat box if you're like, yeah, that's right. So this is why your tax return is a liability and not an asset. Not only can you not use the money when you need it, when you get it back, you're not getting the interest that you would have gotten if you'd invested this money in a savings account for yourself. So after everything I've shared with you so far, I know you're probably thinking, well, Celia, I got what I need. Why do I need you? Well, you need me because you need to have a strategy. You know, when I first got started with this 2 years ago, I was like, oh, okay, I did the W-4. I thought I was good and everything was okay. But that's not the case. You need a strategy because all of this comes together in a way that will make you live life like a millionaire so you can save money. All right, so we're getting ready to get into some more stuff here. I'm wrapping it up. Thank you for being along for the ride so long. Are you getting some real value from what I've shared with you? If you are, put in the chat what you've learned so far, and if this has been a good workshop for you while I take a couple of sips of water. All right, so during this workshop, I told you I was going to give you the secret to getting more money from your paycheck, which I did, your W-4. I was going to tell you how to put $200 to $1,000 in your bank account each month. I did that because once you do your W-4, that's more money on your paycheck, which is more money in your bank account. And I showed you why tax return is a liability and not an asset. So if that's all you need and you don't want the big picture, you can go ahead and leave now because I'm giving you the strategy. The overall strategy is to use this extra money to improve your credit, pay off your debts, and hire your kids, okay? That's the overall strategy. You can do the first 3 by yourself, but for the last 3, you need the help of me and my team. So I said in the beginning, this workshop is for anyone who gets the W-2 or 1099, anyone looking to raise their credit score, anyone who feels they are drowning in debt, anyone that wants to create their own financial safety net. Remember, your safety net is not your savings account. It's that thing that'll bring you money when your job isn't bringing you money anymore. This is for anyone that wants to build an exit strategy from their job. Even if you have no plans of leaving, they may leave you. You know, last week, 2 weeks ago, January 15th, everybody at Payless thought everything was chugging along. I shouldn't say everybody. People at the lower end of the pyramid thought everything was chugging along just fine until they found out last week that they're closing all 2,300 stores and the distribution center, which is going to be about 500 people in the city without work. So you might not know you need an extra strategy, but you should always build one. Anyone that has a struggling home-based business, if you have a home-based business and you're not getting any traction, this can be a good introductory tool to your prospects. So if you have a home-based business that's based on products and the person is like, oh, I can't afford the auto ship, I can't afford whatever, you can use this as an entryway. Show them how to get more money in their paycheck, then you can show them how they can afford to be part of your home-based business. and anyone that owns a brick and mortar and wants to enhance what they do. So I'm going to go into a little bit more about this. You know, if you own a barbershop, a beauty shop, a salon, a spa, a boutique, you have the benefits of your brick and mortar business. And if you own a restaurant or any sort of brick and mortar entity, how much more can you do if you can introduce these W-4 strategies to your employees? And now you have a home business to go with your brick and mortar business, which gives you additional deductions. Who wouldn't want that, right? So, because you are one of those people, it's time that you join us now. Stop existing. It's time to live. I want you to focus on the goose, and the golden egg will take care of itself. So if you're wondering what I mean by that, you know, when I first got started in 2003, my overall goal was to make money. You know, I listened to everybody that I signed up with talking about make a list of 100 people, get three, help them get three, and they'll help them get three. I listened to all of that, and it was crazy bananas because first of all, I don't know 100 people. I don't want to build fake relationships by, you know, connecting with people only to try and find a way to weave my business in there. That's not how I want to get down. But once I started focusing on myself and how I could improve and then how I could share that with others, then I started reaping the benefits of my own golden eggs, which is why I was able to walk away from my job March of 2018 and never look back by the grace of God and the blood of Jesus. So now you know how to maximize your take-home pay. You know how to have a home business without selling physical products. And you know, what I've showed you can help you in your professional, personal, and business life. If you know all that based upon what we've gone through together so far, give me a I know in the comments or the chat box. So now I want you to ask yourself if what you're doing today is getting you closer to where you want to be. And type in the comments, is it a yes or it's a no? If it's yes, then once again, I say thank you for attending. I appreciate you being here and feel free to go ahead and leave. But if the answer is no, then it's time to keep calm and to team. There is my website at the top, bit.ly/Team Cecilia. Go to that website and let's get you started today. And you're probably like, what does it take to get started? Well, you've been to webinars before, workshops, whatever. You know there's always an expense. But I'm telling you, this expense is minimal. Startup, $49.95. That's it and that's all. After that, it's $34.95 a month. You have a whole business with the average monthly savings from just your W-4 being $300. You can have a whole business for 2 months of your yearly membership based upon what you'll get back in your W-4. 2 months, $433.40 for a whole year. When I was in the products-based home business, I would spend that in 2 months. By the time I did my auto shipment, shipping and handling, and then had home parties, and oh my gosh, 2 months of my W-4 savings paid for a year's worth of this business. This is unheard of, and it does not happen that I know of very often. Plus, you get the benefits of being a business owner, such as meals, travels, hotels, mileage. You know, you like to do the Friday after work happy hour. Well, guess what? That just became a business expense. And it's not like you're having inorganic conversations. You know, whenever I go out, what do people ask? Well, hey, what do you do? I work from home. Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. What do you do? I show people how to get $200 to $1,000 or more per month. Really? What is that about? I mean, that's such an organic conversation. And I'm not even the one initiating it. But now my Friday after work happy hour just became a business expense. Let me say again, disclaimer, I am not a tax advisor or an accountant. Please get with one of your states so you can get more information. Here it is again. Once you go to bit.ly.com/Team Cecilia, this is the screen that you'll get. As you can see, I am your sponsor, Taking Charge Incorporated, because I am a corporation. And once you go there, you'll just fill out the enrollment form and get started for the $49.95. Now, you will see an option for a starter pack for $24.95. If you choose to get that, that's fine, but we teach a lot of that in our team. So if you want to know why I do this, I do it because I want to be a service first and foremost. You know, in 2003, like I said, I wanted to make money. In 2008, when the housing crisis happened and the world imploded because of the financial meltdown in the United States, I was just like, I got to make money. I was like super scared. It was like crazy. But once I shifted my thought process to be of service, that's when everything changed for me. It's not about making money, it's about helping people. And when I can prove and show people that I can help myself, then I am able to help you too. And I also want you to implement what I showed you today without struggle, without overwhelm, and without wasting time or money, and start getting results right away. It's super fast, super simple, super easy, and our team can help you do just that. Then I want to leave you with this quote from Zig Ziglar. You can have everything in life you want if you will just help other people get what they want. And it's all about meeting people where they're at. I mean, I was, setting up my exit strategy for my job, even though they had a different strategy for me. But maybe you don't want to leave your job. Maybe you just want to get a slush fund. You want to save up for your next vacation. Meet people where they're at and help them get what they want. And then you can have everything in life that you want. So remember, during this workshop, I told you that I was going to give you the secret to getting more from your paycheck. I did with the W-4. I said I was going to show you how to put $200 to $1,000 a month in your bank account. Once you do your W-4 correctly, you'll get that. And I said that I would tell you why tax return is a liability and not an asset, because you're giving the government a interest-free loan when that money can be in your paycheck in your bank account. However, credit system, debt elimination, and why you should hire your children, that's part of the strategy that you need me and my team to do and help you with. And this information can be a game changer for you because it increases your income, eliminates your debt, improves your credit, and provides you with income. So you're allowing you to have a home business and all the benefits of what being a business provides. All you have to do is go to bit.ly.com/team Cecilia, and it's CECELIA. So let's talk about the benefits of being a member of our team. You get support and training. You get access to our private Facebook groups. You get first crack at all local events. We have weekly webinars. So if you're new or uncomfortable, or somebody's interested but you don't have the time, we've got webinars, recordings that you can plug them into and then follow up with them. Acknowledgement and recognition. We are always giving kudos to our teammates. And you get all these benefits for less than $450 a year. That's less than $1.25 a day for you to have your own business. That's why I don't spend a lot of time convincing people, because if I have to convince you that you're worth $1.25 a day, that means you don't care enough about yourself to think you're worth $1.25 a day. And I can't want more for you than you want for yourself. So remember, I said once again, this workshop is for people who get a W-2 or a 1099. It's for somebody looking to increase their credit score. It's somebody who wants to get out of debt. It's somebody who wants to create their own financial safety net. Somebody who wants to build an exit strategy from their job. Anyone that's struggling with their own home-based business. And anyone that owns a brick and mortar business and wants to enhance what they already do. If you are any one of these people, I need you to ask yourself once again, if what you're doing today is getting you closer to where you want to be. If the answer is no, then we need to move forward. Go to bit.ly.com/team Cecilia. And the benefits, again, of being on Team Cecilia: support and training, access to our private Facebook group, first crack at all local events, weekly webinars for your prospects, acknowledgement and recognition, and the total value of all these benefits is unlimited. I can tell you, I cannot put a price tag on what being part of the bigger team has done for me to allow me to walk away from my job almost a year ago and still be self-sufficient, self-sustaining, being able to spend my final days with my father, his final days, excuse me, with him. Can't put a price tag on that. But I can tell you, you're worth more than $1.25 a day, and that's all we're asking. So go to bit.ly.com/team Cecilia, and let's get you started today. Now let's talk about the prizes. These are all the prizes that you are eligible for. So once you get signed up at bit.ly.com/team Cecilia, and I see you show up, I will personally get with you and ask you which of these prizes you would like. Now, the mini vacation is a voucher for a 4-day, 3-night stay in either Orlando, Florida, or Las Vegas, Nevada. And this isn't some little rinky-dink podunk place. I'm putting you in a resort, 4 days, 3 nights in Orlando, Florida, or Las Vegas, Nevada. But once I see that you join Team Cecilia by going to bit.ly/Team Cecilia, I will be sure to make sure that I get back with you so we can talk about which of these prizes that you would like to have. So with that being said, I want to thank you so much for your time. This is the end of the webinar. I'm going to go offline for those who are here to answer questions and have a chat. I thank you, and I thank you for your time today. Once again, go to bit.ly/Team Cecilia. Let's get you started today. Let's get your money right on your paycheck. Let's start paying down your debt. Let's start rebuilding or improving your credit score. Let's start hiring your kids because now you have a business. Without being this Team Cecilia, you can do the W-4, you can get more money. You know, you don't really want a tax return, but the other things that we are offering you for the same $1.25 a day to have a business, a home business for $1.25 a day. If that doesn't blow you away, then you wasted an hour of your time sitting with me right now. I can tell you that $1.25 a day saved my life. In 2008, I was scared shitless about what I was going to do. I was worried about losing my house, you know, because remember, if you do, when we had the housing crisis and the financial crisis, everybody's 401k went to pot. People lost their whole life savings with their 401k. So I'm shaking in my boots. I don't know what I'm going to do. Fortunately, by the grace of God, I did find another job about 6 months later, so I survived. But if I had not changed my mindset, my mentality in 2018, when I was presented with a similar situation, I would not be having this conversation here with you right now. So go to bit.ly/Team Cecilia. Let's get you started. Let's get you set up today. Let's get together so I can see which of these prizes that you would like to have. And remember, the mini vacation, 4 days, 3 nights in either Orlando, Florida, or Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm giving you your first business trip. We can talk more about that later after you get signed up at bit.ly/Team Cecilia. Once again, I say thank you, and I thank God for you. I appreciate you taking the time to spend here with me today. I hope you got value. I hope this is an eye-opener. I hope you understand why Donald Trump does not want to show you his tax returns, and I hope you understand how you too can live like a millionaire and save some money. Thank you, and God bless.